From the moment a child begins to speak, society teaches him not how to think, but how to appear intelligent. In schools, at work, and even in conversations, it is not depth of thought that is rewarded. It is the illusion of understanding. The one who speaks the loudest is praised for his confidence. The one who questions too much is labeled difficult. The result is a world where appearance triumphs over truth, where perception holds more value than precision. People do not truly admire intelligence, they admire its performance. They are drawn to symbols of intellect, eloquent speech, polished gestures, commanding tone, while ignoring the emptiness beneath it. The powerful understand this early. They learn that it is not necessary to be wise, only to look wise. The fool who carries himself like a king will always be preferred over the thinker who doubts like a philosopher. Society craves certainty even when that certainty is a lie. In the theater of human civilization, every man plays a role. The stage belongs to those who master the art of performance. The intelligent man questions his lines, seeks meaning behind every word, and hesitates before he acts. The fool, on the other hand, delivers his part with conviction, unbothered by logic or truth. The audience, unable to distinguish authenticity from confidence, applauds the one who looks most sure of himself. And thus, the stage is never ruled by the wise. It is ruled by actors wearing the mask of wisdom. This illusion is reinforced by every institution. Schools teach memory, not mastery. They reward obedience over originality. The student who repeats what he is told is celebrated, while the one who challenges the premise is punished. By the time the child becomes an adult, he has learned that survival depends not on understanding the truth, but on aligning himself with appearances. He learns how to speak in the language of conformity, how to flatter power, and how to display just enough intelligence to be useful, but not threatening. This is the foundation upon which fools ascend. The corporate world perfects this ritual. It rewards charisma over competence, loyalty over vision, and obedience over creativity. Meetings become arenas of deception where words replace ideas and gestures replace results. The leader who smiles most convincingly is declared the most inspiring. The one who dares to expose inefficiency is labeled as negative. In such an environment, the intelligent mind suffocates, while the shallow one flourishes. The throne of authority is not earned through merit. It is handed to the best illusionist. This pattern extends into politics, the grandest stage of all. The crowd does not vote for the thinker who questions their desires. They vote for the speaker who mirrors them. The politician's task is not to tell the truth, but to manufacture it. He must look strong even when he is hollow. He must sound righteous even when his intentions are self-serving. And the people, craving reassurance, will always choose him over the silent strategist who sees the truth but speaks with caution. The irony of human nature is that people are more persuaded by emotion than by evidence. A fiery speech can blind them to incompetence, a confident smile can erase suspicion, and a well-tailored suit can disguise the absence of understanding. Society has built its own hierarchy of illusions, beauty above skill, charm above thought, and spectacle above substance. The intelligent, aware of this absurdity, either withdraw in disgust or disguise themselves in silence. The fool, however, thrives, because his world was designed for him. Even in personal relationships, this pattern persists. People pretend to value honesty, yet reward flattery. They speak of depth, yet crave validation. The one who challenges them becomes the enemy. The one who echoes their feelings becomes their leader. The result is a culture that elevates simplicity over subtlety, reaction over reflection, and conformity over courage. To rise in such a society, one must either play the fool convincingly or learn to wear his mask. Social media has amplified this condition into a spectacle. The world no longer values what is true, but what is visible. Attention is the new currency, and those who command it, regardless of wisdom, become kings. The influencer with the loudest voice becomes the philosopher of the digital age. The image becomes more powerful than the idea. Every post, every caption, Every word is a calculated display of false confidence meant to attract admiration from those who never look beyond the surface. The masses have learned to worship the mirror, forgetting that the reflection often hides the rot. Thus, intelligence in its pure form becomes a burden. To think deeply is to see too clearly, and clarity is isolating. The thinker observes the charade, understanding that truth cannot compete with performance. He sees that reason is powerless in a world that measures value through applause. And so, the intelligent either retreat into silence or adapt by disguising their depth. They learn to play dumb in a world that rewards stupidity, to survive among those who mistake volume for strength and charisma for leadership. This is why, throughout history, societies fall into the same pattern. Every empire, every nation, every generation begins with visionaries and ends with pretenders. The founders build systems through sacrifice and intellect. Their successors inherit them through theatrics and manipulation. Power is rarely taken by wisdom. It is seized by those who understand how to appear wise. Humanity's obsession with appearances ensures that the cycle continues endlessly. The tragedy is not that fools rise to power. It is that the people put them there willingly. They crave comfort, not challenge. They prefer to be entertained rather than enlightened. And in this craving, they create their own rulers, giving crowns to jesters and dismissing philosophers as dreamers. Society, blind in its worship of confidence, manufactures its own chains and bows to the ones loud enough to command silence from the wise. Every society creates systems, governments, corporations, schools, and social orders, not to promote brilliance, but to preserve stability. And stability does not come from those who think too deeply or act too independently. It comes from those who obey without question. That is why mediocrity is not just tolerated, it is protected. The structures of power are designed to filter out those who are too curious, too original, too unpredictable. The system thrives when everyone plays their part, follows the rules, and avoids asking why those rules exist in the first place. The illusion is that the world rewards talent. In truth, it rewards compliance. The exceptional individual threatens the balance of the collective. He exposes flaws in the design, questions sacred traditions, and refuses to conform to the mediocrity that sustains the majority. To those in power, such a person is not a visionary but a disruption. And so the system, through its schools, workplaces, and governments, learns how to quietly suffocate exceptional minds. It does not destroy them openly. It simply ignores them until they vanish into obscurity. From the earliest years of education, this pattern begins. The child who obeys instructions without hesitation is called well-behaved. The one who asks too many questions is told to focus. Grades become the measure of obedience, not understanding. Students learn not to think critically, but to repeat efficiently. They memorize answers, not ideas. By the time they leave the classroom, their ability to question has been replaced with the desire to fit in. This is not accidental. It is a form of social engineering. A society that truly encouraged independent thought would be impossible to control. The same principle extends to the professional world. Organizations prefer predictability over genius. A mediocre employee who follows every command is far more valuable to the system than a brilliant one who challenges its direction. The hierarchy rewards those who protect it, not those who question it. Promotions are rarely given to the most capable. They are granted to those who pose the least threat. The obedient climb while the intelligent remain still, trapped by their unwillingness to flatter, to lie, or to pretend. The system has no use for those who see too clearly. It thrives on those who see just enough to obey. In politics, mediocrity becomes sacred. The powerful maintain their positions not by surrounding themselves with thinkers, but with followers. Advisors are chosen not for their wisdom, but for their loyalty. The incompetent are promoted because their dependence guarantees obedience. A wise subordinate might one day challenge authority. A mediocre one never will. Thus, a network of fools reinforces itself, protecting its own through alliances of fear and flattery. And over time, This mediocrity becomes institutionalized. It becomes culture. The system's greatest weapon is comfort. It seduces people into believing that safety is more valuable than freedom, that stability is preferable to growth. The mediocre are not forced into submission. They are rewarded for it. They receive just enough power to feel important, just enough money to feel secure, and just enough recognition to believe they matter. In this way, they become loyal defenders of the very structure that limits them. They police their peers, mock the ambitious, and ridicule those who refuse to conform. The system does not need to suppress rebellion directly. The mediocre do it willingly. Social media has made this dynamic even more powerful. The digital world has created a new hierarchy where conformity is disguised as expression. The platform does not reward intelligence. It rewards engagement. The loudest, most superficial voices are elevated, while depth is buried under algorithms that favor simplicity. The system has evolved into something far more subtle. It no longer needs to silence the intelligent. It simply drowns them in noise. The mediocre become stars, and their emptiness becomes the new standard of influence. This constant protection of mediocrity also ensures that true power remains untouched. Those at the top understand that an intelligent population is dangerous. Intelligence leads to awareness, and awareness leads to rebellion. Therefore, they create an environment where comfort replaces curiosity. They distract the masses with entertainment, competition, and meaningless rewards. People learn to measure success not by wisdom, but by visibility. The system ensures that the majority remains occupied with survival and status, never pausing long enough to see the invisible chains that bind them. Even when a brilliant mind emerges, the system reacts instinctively to neutralize it. Sometimes through ridicule, sometimes through bureaucracy, and sometimes through praise that hides isolation. The intelligent are often labeled as arrogant, uncooperative, or unrealistic. Their ideas are too radical, their vision too ambitious. In reality, their greatest crime is seeing the truth too clearly. The mediocre, threatened by their light, will gather in defense of their dullness. They will reject brilliance under the guise of protecting order. Over time, this creates a civilization that looks advanced, but thinks primitively. It builds machines that can think faster, but produces minds that think slower. The system praises innovation while secretly fearing it. It encourages small improvements, but punishes those who challenge its foundation. This is why revolutions are rare and why most die in silence. The few who truly understand power either withdraw from the system or learn to manipulate it from within. The rest live as cogs in a machine that was never built to free them, only to use them. The protection of mediocrity becomes so complete that people forget there is even a higher level of thought. They begin to believe that excellence is arrogance and obedience is virtue. The extraordinary becomes the enemy of the ordinary. The system no longer needs to suppress intelligence. It convinces people to suppress it themselves. Schools produce followers, companies reward compliance, governments praise loyalty, and the media glorifies ignorance disguised as confidence. The system does not need to destroy brilliance. It merely ensures it never has a place to shine in every civilization. The intelligent mind is both a gift and a threat. Intelligence questions what others accept. It searches where others stop, and it sees what others are trained to ignore. But society, built upon comfort and routine, cannot tolerate too much questioning. It cannot survive constant examination of its illusions. The intelligent person becomes a danger not because he wishes to destroy, but because his very existence exposes the fragility of the collective lie that holds the system together. Stability depends on ignorance, and ignorance depends on obedience. Intelligence interrupts both. The average person seeks security, not truth. Truth is heavy. It demands the destruction of false comfort. Stability thrives on repetition, rituals, traditions, beliefs, and habits that keep the majority calm and predictable. Intelligence disrupts that rhythm. It asks, why do we follow this rule? Why do we believe this idea? Who benefits from this structure? These questions may appear innocent, but they shake the foundation of power. Because power in any era is built not on knowledge, but on control of knowledge. The intelligent man wants to understand. The powerful want him to obey. Throughout history, those who saw too clearly were treated as dangers. Philosophers, inventors, scientists, and reformers were ridiculed, exiled, imprisoned, or killed. The system always reacts with hostility to the light of understanding because intelligence exposes the illusions that sustain authority. Religion, politics, and education all depend on myths that maintain order. Intelligence removes the mask, and in doing so, reveals the chaos behind the curtain. Those in control know that when people begin to think freely, they begin to act freely, and freedom is incompatible with blind obedience. The masses do not hate intelligence because they do not value truth. They hate it because it unsettles them. Intelligence destroys the fantasy of fairness, the illusion of competence among leaders, and the comforting myth that the world makes sense. To think deeply is to see how fragile society truly is, how its morals shift with power, how its laws serve the strong, and how its values are written by those who rule. Most people cannot bear this knowledge. They would rather live in ignorance than face the emptiness behind their beliefs, and so they attack the intelligent not because he is wrong, but because he makes them feel wrong. Powerful institutions understand this psychology better than anyone. They know that to maintain stability, the people must remain slightly ignorant but deeply confident. Education must create workers, not thinkers. Media must create opinions, not awareness. Politics must create hope, not solutions. Every element of society is designed to maintain a delicate balance between comfort and blindness. Intelligence, with its hunger for truth, destroys that balance. A society that allows too much intelligence becomes unstable because intelligent people question authority, resist manipulation, and demand genuine meaning instead of hollow symbols. That is why true intelligence is often hidden. Those who possess it learn to conceal their insight behind masks of simplicity. They understand that revealing too much truth provokes resistance. The intelligent man learns to speak carefully, to disguise wisdom in ordinary words, and to move quietly among the complacent. He does not argue with fools because he knows that the fool's comfort is sacred to the system. Every society depends on its fools. Without them, there would be no followers, no voters, no believers. The intelligent are tolerated only as long as they do not disturb the illusion. When intelligence becomes widespread, revolutions are born, but revolutions are rarely welcomed. The powerful fear chaos more than they fear corruption. They would rather rule over decay than risk the uncertainty of change. The masses, too, fear upheaval. They prefer familiar chains to unfamiliar freedom, and so, both ruler and ruled find unity in suppressing intelligence. The ruler hides knowledge to maintain control, and the ruled reject knowledge to maintain comfort. The system survives because both sides secretly agree to protect the illusion. The most dangerous intelligence is not the kind that studies or memorizes. It is the kind that perceives. It sees patterns, motives, and consequences before others do. It can predict betrayal, manipulation, and decay. Such perception makes intelligent people unfit for blind loyalty. They cannot worship false gods or follow corrupt leaders without seeing through the mask. And when they expose the truth, the system retaliates. It labels them cynics, traitors, or extremists. The goal is not to defeat them intellectually, but to isolate them socially. The system's greatest punishment is not death. It is exile from belonging. Even in modern times, intelligence continues to be quietly suppressed under the illusion of equality. Society praises the idea of equal voices, but in practice, it fears those who think differently. The intelligent are told they are overcomplicating things. They are accused of arrogance for seeing too far, for thinking too deeply. The system promotes the myth that all opinions are equal, which is a polite way of saying that wisdom must not rise too high above ignorance. This artificial equality ensures stability. It keeps the intelligent humble and the foolish confident. Technology has only deepened this paradox. The world now overflows with information but starves for understanding. People know everything and comprehend nothing. Intelligence has been diluted into noise, measured by speed, not depth. The system thrives in this confusion because a population that cannot think clearly is easy to distract and easy to control. The intelligent, watching this spectacle, realize that their knowledge isolates them even further. The more they understand, the less they belong. Thus, intelligence becomes both a blessing and a curse. It reveals the truth of the system, but denies the peace that ignorance brings. It makes the individual free in thought, but alien in society. Stability depends on conformity, and conformity depends on blindness. Intelligence, in its nature, destroys both. And so, the system learns to protect itself, not through open tyranny, but through subtle conditioning that makes the intelligent doubt themselves and the mediocre feel certain. In a world governed by fools and maintained by mediocrity, the intelligent man cannot rise through honesty or brilliance alone. The system has no place for those who see too much, question too deeply, or speak too freely. To survive among the blind, one must learn the art of concealment. The true player of power does not fight the system head-on. He bends it, manipulates it, and walks through it unseen. The path of the outsider is not a path of rebellion. It is a path of strategy. One must learn to appear harmless while thinking dangerously, to seem ordinary while plotting extraordinarily. The first truth an outsider must accept is that visibility is vulnerability. Power does not belong to the loudest. It belongs to the most disciplined. The wise learn to move in silence, to let others speak, to observe before acting. In every environment, the fool reveals himself by his need to be noticed. The cunning individual understands that attention is a currency that must be spent with precision. The less people see of your real mind, the more they will overestimate its power. Mystery is your armor and patience your sword. The second truth is that emotions are traps. The masses are ruled by feelings: anger, pride, jealousy, fear. And those in power manipulate these emotions to control them. The outsider must never be pulled into emotional warfare. He must master indifference, not as coldness but as calculation. Indifference allows clarity. It allows one to act while others react. Those who react lose control. The one who remains still becomes the silent ruler of every exchange. Power belongs not to those who shout, but to those who wait until everyone else has revealed their weakness. The third principle of power for the outsider is deception. Truth in its raw form has no place in politics, business, or social hierarchies. The intelligent know that honesty is not a virtue. It is a weapon, one that must be used rarely and strategically. Speak truth only when it serves a purpose, never when it serves your ego. The wise do not show all their understanding. They hide it behind simplicity. They let fools believe they are smarter, for the fool's confidence is a gift to the cunning. To outsmart a fool, let him underestimate you. The fourth lesson is control over appearance. Society rewards image more than essence. So the outsider must learn to master the mask. Speak less than necessary. Dress with purpose. Smile when needed. Stay silent when tempted to speak. The art of presence is an illusion. If you look in control, people will assume you are. The powerful understand that humans are visual creatures. They judge character by posture and tone, not by truth. The outsider must learn to use this blindness, to command respect through composure rather than explanation. Another rule: never fight battles that do not lead to power. The fool wastes his energy defending his pride, proving his intelligence, or seeking recognition from those beneath him. The wise conserve strength. They choose their conflicts carefully, understanding that most wars are distractions. The system thrives on making people fight meaningless battles, while true power operates quietly behind closed doors. The outsider must focus only on moves that expand influence, position, or leverage. All else is vanity. The outsider must also learn the discipline of silence. In a noisy world, silence is a signal of strength. When you speak little, your words gain weight. When you reveal nothing, people fill the gaps with their own fear and curiosity. Those who cannot control their tongue lose power before they even act. The intelligent do not explain themselves, they let results speak. The more you are understood, the easier it is to be controlled. Power hides in ambiguity. Another rule is adaptability. Power belongs to those who adjust without losing identity. The outsider must be fluid, not rigid, able to blend into any environment without being absorbed by it. This flexibility is not weakness, it is survival. The rigid are predictable, and predictability is the enemy of power. Those who cannot adapt become tools for those who can. In every situation, observe the current, but never drift without direction. Learn the customs, speak the language, but never forget the mission. To rise quietly above those who mistake comfort for victory. The outsider must master human nature. Understand that every person desires recognition, validation, and significance. These are the levers of control. By giving people what they crave, you gain influence without effort. Praise strategically, agree selectively, and observe constantly. Never argue with emotion, guide it. Never challenge directly, redirect subtly. Power is not about domination. It is about manipulation that feels like consent. Those who think they are free are the easiest to control. Among the 21 rules that define survival in a foolish society, one stands above all: protect your mind from corruption. The system will try to lure the intelligent into mediocrity through distraction, pleasure, and flattery. It will tell you that your silence is weakness, that your cunning is cruelty, that your detachment is arrogance. But these are lies designed to pull you back into conformity. The outsider's greatest strength is his clarity, his ability to see the game for what it is, and still choose to play it without losing himself. To exist within a structure ruled by illusion, one must become both participant and observer. The wise do not expose the lie, they navigate it. They create influence not by challenging authority, but by understanding its foundation and bending it quietly. Every smile hides calculation. Every agreement conceals strategy. Every defeat is merely a step in disguise. The 21 rules of power are not laws to memorize. They are instincts to sharpen. Each rule is born from necessity, forged in silence, and tested in deception. The outsider who learns them does not seek approval or recognition. He seeks one thing only: the ability to move through a world of fools without ever becoming one of them. Power has never belonged to the most intelligent, the most moral, or the most deserving. It belongs to those who understand the game, the hidden currents of fear, ego, and illusion that move society. The world does not elevate wisdom, it rewards performance. It protects mediocrity, fears intelligence, and celebrates those who wear confidence like armor, even when their minds are empty beneath it. This is the natural order of a civilization built on comfort rather than truth. But the outsider, the one who sees through the disguise, must not despair. Knowledge of the system is already power. When you understand that society will always create fools in authority, you free yourself from the illusion that fairness or merit rule the world. You begin to move differently, no longer reacting, no longer seeking validation, no longer wasting energy fighting battles that cannot be won. Instead, you begin to play the long game. You learn to appear ordinary while thinking with precision. You master the silence that unsettles fools. You bend appearances to your will, using the same illusions that enslave others to secure your own freedom. You no longer chase recognition. You become the quiet architect behind it. The intelligent who survive are not those who shout against the system, but those who master it from the shadows. They adapt without surrendering. They manipulate without malice. They rise without being seen rising. And while the world continues to crown its fools, the wise build kingdoms in silence. Because in a world that worships noise, The truest power will always belong to those who understand the value of remaining unseen, unheard, and entirely in control of themselves.